The battlefield was silent now, but the scent of charred metal and blood lingered in the air like a curse. The smog of the recent skirmish between the human resistance and the alien Eurelians hung low, coiling around the broken stones of the ruined city. In the heart of this desolation stood Lieutenant Cale Riven, blooded and seething, staring at the tall, shimmering figure of Queen Xalindra. She stood with the elegance of a monarch but the danger of a predator. Her emerald-scaled skin shimmered even under the soot-stained skies, her serpentine tail curling behind her like a whip coiled in patience. Her golden eyes were emotionless, observing the human soldier before her. Cale was done watching his comrades fall. Done hearing the promises of peace followed by betrayals. And when she turned her back on him, dismissing him as though he were no more than dust beneath her clawed feet, he snapped. With a roar fueled by fury, heartbreak, and months of buried grief, Cale lunged forward. And he grabbed her tail. Gasps rippled through both human and Eurelian onlookers. A dozen of her royal guards unsheathed their plasma spears in unison, ready to cut him down. But Queen Xalindra did not attack. Instead, she turned her head slowly, her long maner of silver hair cascading down her back. Her golden gaze met his trembling one, not with rage, but something else entirely. "Do you know what you've done?" she asked softly, her voice a velvet threat. Cale's hand still gripped her tail, fingers trembling. He was expecting retaliation, claws, death, but not this calm. "I've lost everything because of you," he spat. "You promised peace. And all we got were bodies in the mud." Xalindra stepped closer, not trying to pull her tail away, not even flinching. Her guards bristled but didn't move. Her expression was unreadable. Curious, almost. "You touched a part of me no one has dared touch since I ascended the throne," she said. "Do you know what it means on my world when someone grips the tail of the queen?" Cale blinked. "I don't give a damn what it means. It is considered a sacred act. A challenge. A claim. A calling out of my spirit in front of the stars," she said. "You, human, have just declared yourself my equal." The silence that followed was thunderous. Cale let go abruptly, stumbling back as the meaning sank in. I didn't mean." "I know you didn't," she said, voice cutting like a blade. "But the stars heard you nonetheless." 2 days earlier, the ceasefire between the humans and Eurelians was fragile at best. Xalindra had come to Earth under the guise of diplomacy, a shimmering goddess flanked by armored warriors, claiming she sought peace. Cale, already bitter from years of watching friends die in the war, had been assigned as one of the liaisons to the alien queen. It was a cruel joke, he thought, pairing a soldier who'd lost his brother to the Eurelian invasion with the queen who ordered it. He didn't trust her. Her smiles were too perfect, her words too smooth. But there were moments, strange moments. Like when she watched Earth's sunset without speaking for hours. Or the night she'd asked him what it was like to lose someone you loved. Not in the casual way outsiders ask, but like someone aching to understand. Cale answered gruffly, unwilling to open up. She didn't press. But something shifted after that night. She started asking questions not just about Earth, but about humans, their instincts, their loyalty, their rage. Cale didn't realize he was teaching her more than he meant to. And then the raid happened. A Eurelian faction went rogue. Hundreds of humans were killed. Xalindra claimed innocence. Said the attack was unsanctioned. That she would punish those responsible. But to Cale, it was just more blood. And she was still their queen. Back on the present field. Xalindra gestured to her guards. "Leave us," she said. The guards hesitated. One protested. She silenced him with a look. Cale stood stiff, heart pounding, unsure whether this was a trick or the beginning of his execution. When they were alone, Xalindra stepped closer. "You want to strike me again? Do it." He clenched his fists. "I don't know what I want." "Then let me tell you what I want," she said. "I want to end this war." Cale scoffed. "With more pretty speeches." "No," she said. "With sacrifice. I'm willing to step down from my throne. If it will stop the killing." That stopped him cold. "Why?" "Because you were right. Peace cannot be forged by a queen who rules with fear," she said. "I was trained to conquer. But I've learned from you, Kale, from your grief, your loyalty, even your rage. She touched her tail, the place he had grabbed. You dared to treat me as not a queen, but a being. That has never happened before. You challenged me, not with politics, but with raw truth. Kale didn't speak for a long time. Finally, he asked, and what happens now? That depends, she said. Will you help me end this war? Not as enemies. Not even as allies. But as equals. He stared at her. For the first time, not as a queen or enemy, but a person. I'll do what it takes, he said. 1 week later, the news broke across galaxies. Queen Xalindra of the Nurelian Empire had renounced her throne. In her place, a new council of both humans and Nurelians was being formed. Joint governance. Shared decisions. Ceasefire lines now turned into meeting points. Kale stood beside her in the Great Hall of Accord. Not as a soldier. Not as a conqueror. But as the man who had grabbed the queen's tail in fury and ignited the flame of change. Some still looked at them with suspicion. But most stared in awe. Their story spread like wildfire. Some called it foolish. Others called it destiny. Epilogue. Months passed. Kale now traveled with Xalindra often, on missions of rebuilding, forging trust, reshaping the galaxy. They argued, often. Laughed, sometimes. But there was always a strange respect. A bond formed not by tradition or titles, but by raw, unfiltered emotion. One night, under the stars, she asked him, "Would you grab my tail again, knowing what it meant?" He chuckled. "I might." She smirked. "Then next time, do it gently. It's tradition to ask first." He smiled. "I'll remember that." And the galaxy, long ruled by rage and vengeance, began to write a new story, starting with the day a human dared to grab the queen's tail and changed everything.